In the summer of 1518, the residents of Strasbourg, a city in modern-day France, witnessed an event so bizarre and inexplicable that it would go down in history as one of the most perplexing epidemics of all time: the dancing plague. It all started in July when a woman named Frau Troffea stepped into the street and began to dance. But this wasn't just an ordinary dance. She couldn't stop. Her body was seized by an uncontrollable urge to move. She danced for hours and then days, as if possessed. Within a week, others joined in, and the numbers grew. Soon, dozens of people were dancing frantically, unable to stop, collapsing from exhaustion, and some even dying. What caused this strange outbreak of mass dancing? And why did it spread so uncontrollably? The spread of the epidemic. At first, the dancing epidemic appeared to be an isolated incident, but it quickly escalated. By the end of the month, dozens of people were affected, and the dancing did not stop. People danced for days on end, their movements becoming more frantic and desperate. Historical accounts describe how dancers were often unable to control their movements, and many reportedly suffered from exhaustion, heart attacks, and strokes. The local authorities were baffled and, desperate for an explanation, turned to the church for guidance. The common belief was that the outbreak was a form of divine punishment, possibly brought on by sin. As the epidemic spread, so too did theories, some more plausible than others, attempting to explain what was happening. Possession and divine punishment. One popular theory at the time was that the dancers were victims of a curse or possession. People believed that the afflicted were under the influence of a supernatural force, and this idea was further fueled by the fact that the epidemic seemed to spread so rapidly and uncontrollably. Local clergy and townspeople feared that the dancers were being possessed by demons, and some even believed that the dancing was a form of punishment for their immoral behavior. To try and halt the dancing, the authorities took desperate measures. They enlisted musicians to play music, thinking that this would help the dancers dance it out and allow the episode to pass. Ironically, this only made things worse. More and more people began to dance, as if the music had somehow fueled the outbreak. Desperate measures and theories. As weeks passed, the situation became increasingly dire. Reports indicate that up to 400 people had joined in the dance, and the city's leaders, unable to find a cure, resorted to extreme measures. The dancers were taken to a stage that was set up near the city's gates, where doctors and physicians observed their behavior, trying to find an explanation. Some were convinced that the phenomenon was caused by a disease of the brain, while others, particularly the local authorities, took a more religious view, considering the outbreak a punishment from God. The lack of a clear cause only fueled the panic and fear surrounding the event, making it seem as though the outbreak was unstoppable. But what caused these people to dance to their deaths? And why did it seem to spread like wildfire? The ergot poisoning theory. Several theories have been proposed over the years, attempting to explain the cause of the dancing plague. Some scholars have suggested that the dancers were suffering from ergot poisoning, a hallucinogenic substance caused by a fungus that grows on damp rye. However, while ergot poisoning has been linked to other mass outbreaks of strange behavior in history, there are several issues with this theory. For one, the affected individuals didn't show the typical signs of ergot poisoning, such as vomiting and muscle spasms. Furthermore, the outbreak occurred during the summer, when rye would not typically be infected by the fungus. Psychological factors and mass hysteria. Another theory points to psychological factors, particularly mass hysteria, as a possible cause of the dancing epidemic. This theory suggests that the outbreak was a result of collective stress and social pressure. This kind of mass hysteria has been observed in other parts of the world, where groups of people have exhibited uncontrollable behavior due to a shared psychological response to a stressful environment. According to this theory, the dancing became a form of collective release, a way for the community to cope with the overwhelming pressures of their lives. But why did it take the form of dancing, and why did it last so long? Neurological disorder and other medical explanations. Yet another theory proposes that the dancing was a result of a neurological disorder, possibly a form of epilepsy or a condition affecting the brain's motor functions. This idea suggests that the afflicted individuals could have suffered from a medical condition that caused them to lose control of their movements. However, this theory also faces challenges. The sheer number of people affected and the rapid spread of the condition suggests something more widespread than a localized medical issue. Additionally, the fact that some dancers reportedly danced until they collapsed from exhaustion or died points to the possibility that the condition was not just a medical one, the end of the plague, and the unanswered question. Regardless of the cause, the dancing plague of 1518 remains one of history's most bizarre and mysterious events. The epidemic gradually subsided after a few months, but the true explanation for what happened remains elusive. While the cause may never be definitively understood, the dancing plague serves as a powerful reminder of the unpredictable and mysterious ways that human behavior, the role of religion and superstition. During the height of the dancing plague, the city of Strasbourg was deeply religious, and the people often turned to spiritual explanations for strange or unexplained events. Many believed that the dancing was a form of divine retribution. The local clergy suggested that the outbreak was a punishment for sin, and it was viewed as a manifestation of God's wrath. Musical influence and the spread of the epidemic. Interestingly, one of the methods used to treat the afflicted, this decision was based on the belief that music had a power to calm the soul. The social and economic impact. The dancing plague of 1518 also had a significant impact on the social and economic structure of Strasbourg. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe